Hey everyone, and welcome to our Shop Talk. Today, we are going to be discussing the Villages at Brooklands. It is going to be a new, very, very cool community in a very, very up-and-coming city, just about 25 minutes outside of Austin. And today, I am here with our project representatives, two of our exclusive Engel Völkers advisors, Arian Crenshaw and Brian Aubel, and they are going to be representing the project. And so today we're going to be talking about the Villages at Brooklands, and you guys are going to be kind of giving people an insight as to what's to come and why this project is so, unique and special. Now, a lot of people do not know about the city of Hutto. I mean, born and raised in Austin, I've known about Hutto, but Hutto has always been kind of this suburb, right? There hasn't been a lot happening. There's just been a lot of land. But we are seeing Hutto as is probably one of the fastest growing suburbs right outside of Austin. And so this is a really, really unique opportunity for people if they are wanting to have, a more desirable, price point, be able to, lay roots with a family, and to be able to live, right? So let's start with you, Arian. Why don't you give us a kind of idea of why, the location was so important for Villages at Brooklands and why they kind of picked this specific area.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having us on today. The biggest reason why we chose Hutto and why the developers looked at Hutto is because Hutto is going to be the new Round Rock. And so Round Rock is a neighboring suburb, and there's so much growth happening in Hutto. Yeah. One is all the growth that's happening on that back toll road 130 has been insane, and that's where like Tesla is and every SpaceX, and you get access to, from Temple, Texas, almost all the way down to almost San Marcos and Kyle. And it's just a nice highway that you can go about 85 here in Texas.
Which is nice. And you beat that I-35 traffic.
Exactly. And then the other aspect is there's so much growth happening east. And so Samsung, with them going up in Taylor, Texas, which is roughly 10 miles away from this development, we couldn't have found a better piece of 10 acres to put this new development that we're super excited about.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of people don't realize Samsung is the biggest player that's, kind of creating that growth in Hutto. I mean, gosh, what's the number? It's, $17 billion project, right? Which is, of course, going to add thousands of jobs into the economy, which we all know we really need right now. Yep. But for that specific area, Hutto and Taylor, those kind of right there, it's going to be huge. And it's not just Samsung. You've got lots of other companies that are placing some roots down in Hutto and Taylor. And it is creating this vibrant community to where you're going to start seeing people, which we've already started seeing people move out of Austin, right? Yep. Just because Austin has gotten so expensive. And so people have been kind of moving, east, west, north, south, so they could create a better lifestyle for their family.
100%.
But it is kind of crazy when you think about how much money is being poured into the Hutto and Taylor area. So this almost seems like you guys nailed the jackpot with the developers picking this certain location for this. But why don't you tell us what is going to be so unique about the Villages at Brooklands? Because there is a very unique aspect of it. Yeah. So maybe, I guess, Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going to be unique about, the amenities of it?
Sure. So, one of the things about Hutto right now is if people want to go to find somewhere to eat food or drink or find some entertainment or go shopping, they have to go to downtown Hutto or even Pflugerville. So kind of getting outside of their community. One of the nice, pieces about the Villages at Brooklands, and that really separates it from other opportunities, it's going to be one of the first live-work spaces in Hutto. So it's bringing a lot of that dining and shopping and entertainment activities to the community and making it more accessible for the community members there.
Right. Well, and it's going to be a great mixed use, right, of residential and commercial. And, I know that you guys had mentioned that your hopes were to have, some restaurants and maybe nail salons and coffee shops. And and that kind of thing, which I think is really a need there, because, there's nothing worse than having to drive 10 minutes just to get a cup of coffee when you're out of coffee in the morning and you really need it to get your day started, right?
Exactly. Like even, just convenience is what we're trying to bring to Hutto. Instead of having to drive 10 minutes to go get a carton of eggs or something, like downtown Austin, Blue Royal Grocer is huge. And, just the convenience of being able to be on one strip and be able to potentially do like an Orange Theory class and also stop and get a coffee and also stop and, buy a pair of shorts or something.
Yeah.
We're really hoping to bring, a vibrant community out there.
Yeah, for sure. So why don't you tell us a little bit? You guys, the Villages at Brooklands is going to be roughly 70 plus condos, right?
Correct.
And then they also have plans for like a more residential. Why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of the whole bird's eye view of that?
Yeah, so in total, it's on 10 acres. We're right next to actually Farley Middle School on that back County Road 137, and then right next to another neighborhood called the Brooklands. So we wanted to really immerse ourselves in that community, which is why we're Villages at Brooklands. So at the moment, we're planning to have 70 plus units of condos and townhouses.
Okay, and townhouses.
So
perfect.
the condos are planned at the moment to be above the commercial. And
Okay,
they're going to be 1-story units that should be able to appeal to the mass audience. And right now we're hoping to have like floor to ceiling glass in there. So it should be really nice and modern.
Yeah, which is going to be a different vibe, right, for that Hutto community. But 100%. I think it's needed, right?
Yep.
And I think, with a lot of those jobs coming in here, you're going to get a lot of, younger families, younger people who are probably maybe right out of college or right out of grad school. And people really want to live decently close. So with that, the proximity of Villages at Brooklands to a lot of these tech companies and whatnot is pretty close, right?
100%. I mean, you have Dell that's in Round Rock. Even you have everything on that Highway 79, Kalahari, which is the largest indoor resort, and they have a lot of conventions that happen on a daily basis over there.
And cheer tournaments. Let me just say that. I've already done that with a first grader.
Well,
over
even
there.
an Old Settlers Park that's right there as well. I mean, it's less than, I would say, 5 miles or so, but they have baseball tournaments there every single year. I'm sure they have soccer tournaments. I mean, it's Austin and Round Rock, and that area is one of the most populated areas here in Austin. So again, really love the location, the growth that's coming. And I'm sure Brian can add a little bit to that as well.
Yeah, it's also going to have pretty close proximity to some of the larger grocery chains, like H-E-B is going to be about 2 miles away. There's also a Costco and a Target that are around 5 miles away. So some of the more established grocery and shopping centers are also going to be have good proximity to the area.
Yeah.
Well, Stone Hill is like the main shopping that's nearby. And so with that being about 5 miles, you can get almost anything right there, which is fantastic. So we really think we hit the jackpot there. There's so much growth that's happening in that just area, specifically in Hutto, and even on the street that's going on right there.
Yeah.
So we're excited to see what continues to happen over the next couple of years.
Hey, I'm Brandon Sparks with Nautilus Lending. We're a full-service mortgage lender and brokerage based right here in Austin, Texas, but serving not just Texas, Florida, and Tennessee as well. One of the things we're really, really good at is creative financing, and it doesn't matter whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned investor. We have loan programs to facilitate everything legally possible. You can find out more about us at www.nautilus-lending.com. That's www.nautilus-lending.com.
Well, and I know you said about 70 plus, condos and townhomes. The condos will have elevators, right? For easy accessibility.
That's correct. And so there'll be shared elevators for the condo community, right? So I think we're planning on having one on each side in a sense, just so that they're not having to walk too far in a sense.
Right. Which is nice too for like either you have a young married couple that doesn't have kids, or maybe you have a retired couple who wants to be close to their grandkids or their kids.
And to downsize.
Yeah, and to downsize. So that's really nice. And I feel like an elevator, that's so important because, condo, right? You
100%.
want to be able to easily, access it.
And the biggest thing that the developers are really taking into consideration is making sure that what we offer is going to be able to capture 100% of the market. So like you said, the downsizers, the first-time home buyers, the people that, work at Samsung or some of the other tech companies that just want to live close by, but also have that retail and some of the amenities. That's really what we're looking for a target buyer.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you already mentioned the architecture, right? The amazing windows that are going to be in there to bring in a lot of natural light, kind of a more modern vibe. But I think with that too is kind of a quality product as well. And so again, I think y'all are really bringing a unique product to the Hutto community, which a lot of people, like I said, don't know much about. So I think it's so important. But why don't we get kind of to the biggest thing people are going to probably want to know is, what is the pricing going to be, right? And so I know that because Hutto has become such a fast growing community and suburb, and I know we haven't quite broken ground yet. What are your thoughts on maybe what pricing might be?
I think it's going to be a very competitive price point for what is selling in Hutto right now. So we are very much boots on the ground. I grew up in Round Rock. I grew up almost 10 minutes from where the site is right now. So very familiar with the area and what things are selling for. It's going to be right on par. So it's going to be perfect for even investors as well, if they want to be able to get in on the ground floor when we start taking LOIs.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be great. People really, especially right now, they just want to know that they're going to get, a desirable price for something. And again, y'all are going to probably match that quality with that pricing. So that's going to be amazing. So I know that you guys have been kind of working on this project and the developers have been, kind of trying to put it into fruition. But what do you guys think roughly the time frame might be?
Right now, they're aiming to break ground around January or February of 2025. So if we're able to hit that timeline, we're expecting to have some units built out by the summertime, this time next year around then.
So summer of 2025.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. And you guys have already gotten through, y'all have got stuff with the city already moving and floor plans and renderings and all of that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, we had a meeting with the city of Hutto, I believe, June 4th. And so it was a couple months ago, and they approved us 5-0. So the community was really backing us. They're really excited to see what this development is going to look like and just for more things out in that area.
Yeah.
Tracy, one thing I don't think we've talked enough about is the townhomes. So those are going to be 3 stories.
Okay.
And so I believe what they're looking to do is they're looking to make them like a triplex, a 4-plex, and then a 5-plex.
Okay.
And so there'll be 3, 4, and 5 connected and then separated, of course. But we're really taking into account, one, the setback from the other community. We don't want anybody towering over, someone's neighbor in a sense. We also want so much natural light to come in, and we took into account storage, closet space, all the things that people are looking for in a beautiful home nowadays is what we're looking for.
Right. And do y'all have like a range of square footage for those condos yet?
I believe anywhere from right around 1,000 to 1,700, I think.
Yeah.
Which you'll probably give or take, right?
Yep.
Things will change, of course, based on the way the renderings fall out and the layout and whatnot. So a lot of this is kind of like, this is our hopes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's actually a really good size. You know what I mean? Especially if it's you have 3 levels, it's nicely spaced out. You know what I mean? Well, that is awesome. I'm really excited about this project. I think a lot of people want to know where they're going to be able to put their money, right? And that they're going to get a good return on their investment. We talk about this all the time. And I talk about this, I will say this probably every single time, like a broken record on these podcasts and shop talks, is that real estate is one of the biggest investments somebody will make, right? Because for them, they're putting money into it. Hopefully that's going to grow, and then they can sell it, take money out of it and put it in something where they can upgrade, right? To something bigger and better. And then eventually you take all your equity out of the house and you downsize and you have a little nest egg to live off of. So I think it's so important that people know about these incredible opportunities for them to have a place they can live, make a great investment, and of course be a part of a community that is flourishing, right? That's growing rapidly. And I think the Villages at Brooklands is going to be a really, really great win for Hutto. I think that that's probably why you have the support of Hutto, is because it's going to provide a need for them. If they have all of these jobs coming in, they probably don't have enough housing. So for them, they need that, right? They're going to need that to be able to support the jobs there. It's not going to work. So I think that this is going to be a really, really great project. But you guys, why don't you tell people if they want to know how to find out more information from you guys, or to get in touch with you guys, what they need to do to find out more about Villages at Brooklands.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more, you can email us at info@villagesatbrooklands.com. Also, just give us a phone call. Either Ari and I will be on the other side of the line. The number is 512-200-3549.
Yes. Well, that's awesome. And we're very excited that Engel Völkers gets to exclusively represent this project. And we're excited to see kind of how it all shakes out. So Ari and Brian, thank you for sitting down today with me to talk about that. And we're excited to see what happens. So that's it today. Thank you for joining our Shop Talk.